We got check.
We
Check.
got to check.
Why do we have echo?
I don't know.
Because it's in my headphones.
That might be a good reason.
There we go. Echo gone.
Gone.
So we got check.
Oh, yeah. So what's up, buddy?
Nothing, man. What's going on?
Oh, you know, same old. Same old. What's anything new with you this week?
Oh, no. Aside from a light, immediate little dental issue.
Right.
It's not a long conversation for Monday morning. What about you?
Oh, man. Same old. Good week at work. Made some money. Now I got a couple days off. Got 4 days off. Don't have to go back till Friday. So pretty good.
My weeks are standard. It's good enough for me.
Yeah, mine is too.
Yeah. Good standard week.
Dude, I don't even work 40 hours a week. So I get 37 and a half hours a week, dude. So it's all good.
Man.
A lot going on this week, though.
Woo!
A lot going on this week.
Investigations AKIMBO. Boy, did they not come out the gate running?
Yeah, but there is a big but.
There's a lot of big buts.
You know,
But, yeah.
especially with the ones that are announcing those investigations. You know, and that's something that you're not going to hear. You're not going to hear any news agency talk about that. All you're going to hear is Marjorie Taylor Greene's announcing this. Like the big one you pointed out the other day was the audit of Ukraine. You know, I get it. I feel like we should make sure that the dollars are being spent on Ukraine's defense. But dude, let's be real. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a far right. She doesn't align with Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy is going to be in control of this house. I mean, she doesn't get to announce what audit she's going to do or none of that. It's not really up to her. So as much as I'd like to see investigations, it's going to have to be investigations that the whole Republican caucus gets behind.
Oh, yeah.
So whether Ukraine is one of those investigations they get behind, we don't know that yet. What we do know is Republicans are getting behind Hunter Biden and Dr. Fauci. Those two are definitely, those will be investigations that will be launched.
Oh, yeah.
Because the whole Republican caucus is behind those. Now, whether or not Ukraine is one of those, I mean, you don't really know until it happens. I mean,
First off, we sent them $30 billion worth of blankets during the Obama administration. So if we're going to audit the Ukraine, we need to audit a few more years back.
yeah,
There's a whole conversation about how long have we been in the Ukraine? What all has been going on?
since its creation.
Yeah.
Dude, from an American standpoint, I was really young then, and I didn't really give a shit, to be honest with you. But from an American standpoint, the collapse of the Soviet Union was an amazing time as an American.
Right.
This was a world superpower, the collapse of communism, basically. You know what I mean? So that was a huge thing for us. So there's no doubt in my mind that from that day, the collapse of the Soviet Union was the creation of Ukraine. From that day, some American politicians saw some money to be made over there.
Speaking of Ukraine.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
My bad. It was Russia.
Sorry.
The
The funny thing about it was the president was on there for days. He's like, it wasn't us.
Nope.
Like, it was, bro.
It was. It's totally us. Stop
Okay.
it, Joe.
A few days, not our president, their president.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
And then
yeah.
A few days later, he was back on there and he was like, okay, so it was us. But if the Russians hadn't fired on us to begin with, we wouldn't have had to do it.
Ah!
It was perfect political spin, dude. It was fucking great.
I know. And I seen it coming.
It was great. It's good to know even Ukrainians know how to spin politics.
If you wouldn't have started nothing, there wouldn't be
There's
nothing.
no way. You can't tell me he didn't learn that shit directly from an American politician. He did that shit so smooth. Like, he waited a couple days and then he was like, okay, so it was us. But
that's because that speech was written by an American politician. Here's what you're going to tell them.
But
oops.
For about 2 days, it was World War III. Oh, Putin then struck a NATO country. Oh, it's on now. For a solid day and a half, 2 days, it was like that.
You know, they just had another pipeline explosion inside of Russia.
The CIA was behind the first one.
I say we find out that the CIA went behind Russian borders and blew up their pipeline.
We'll never find that out.
Oh, yeah, we will.
We'll never find that out.
We will when things start blowing up around us and Russia's coming over here. When Russia declares full-on war, we'll know.
We've already discussed that. You're never going to see a country, I don't care who you are, even China knows better. There will never be a country, in my lifetime at least, that says, we declare war on the United States. Here we fucking come. Bring it, motherfuckers. Bring it. Dude, this country has the largest unorganized army in the world. Like, you're not going to have the outcome that you think you are. Unless you use total devastation. Like, not no ground forces. No, you're getting wiped off the map if you try that shit. You're going to have to nuke us to get us to a weak point to where you can invade.
I don't feel like the numbers are high as they were in the 80s.
What?
I feel like there's too high of a
What
percentage of Americans that would just let it be. I stand there every day and I see people and I'm like, none of you people would miss work on Tuesday or leave your families. None of you men could leave we don't have the survivable families anymore. When the American Revolution broke out, which is where our mindset is, women had all the skills. I mean, they lived in a way we can't even understand. They knew things that they could get milk from an axe with a rag back then, so to speak. Like, you know, we don't have that anymore. Could you leave your home and the people in it and go fight and know that they could fend for, feed for, and keep themselves safe long enough for you to go do it?
No.
Welcome to New America.
But I'd go.
I mean, a lot of men wouldn't.
A lot of men wouldn't.
A lot of men wouldn't.
The security of my country far outweighs. There is no family if you don't have a safe and secure country.
Right. But
a lot of people don't look at it like that. But
too many men, too many families. I mean, there would be a fight. You're not leaving. Too many people would stay home, accept the food boxes, and watch it go down.
Yeah.
Film it from their cell phones.
Right.
We don't live in our grandpa's America anymore. I'm not going to comment.
But with that being said, I don't know the exact number, but I can tell you that 100 million registered NRA members have over 250 million weapons. You might need to say that out loud to really grasp that concept. Bro, that means at bare minimum, every member has at least 2 weapons. I got more than 2. I know you do. I don't know how they get these averages, but I think there's a lot more out there.
I only need 1.
Well, you know, I want one up close and personal and one to keep you off.
If I need another one,
a little distance.
There'll be plenty of them laying around.
Yeah, true. True.
And I have to apologize. I have to just, I've said this a couple of times this week, and it's been kind of funny. I just have to apologize to everybody. Because I keep going up to the range and sighting in these liberals' rifles for them. So,
ain't gonna do no good to sight shit in if you can't shoot it.
Right. I just, I keep.
Hey, I don't give a shit when the shit hits the fan. If the shit were to ever hit the fan here, like really hit the fan, like an invading army, I don't give a fuck if you're a liberal or a Republican or an independent or a fucking fairy with wings. If you can hold a gun, you're at least gonna be my shield for as long as you can maintain.
We need to run some drills first. I'm trying to get shot in the back.
Right.
The percentage of people that will get shot in the back by friendly fire when the first fights break out will probably be a big chunk of the casualties throughout the entire endeavor.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. Sad, but you're probably right. I mean, hey, what can you say?
So Mar-a-Lago, let's hop on Mar-a-Lago because you said it. We're not going to hear nothing else about Mar-a-Lago ever.
No, that's a brief subject. If you want to touch on that real quick, that's literally a 2-minute conversation.
Yeah, well, they waited until after the election. That conversation exists again. They knew, and they waited. A big nothing burger. All he had was, what was it? Trinkets and souvenirs. Personal effects and souvenirs is all that was in any of those boxes.
That's what I said. You'll never hear anything else about it because it was all bullshit.
It was a big nothing burger.
So that was, like I said, that was a brief conversation right there.
Well, I mean, it could be a long. It could be.
I promise you, if there was some juice in them files, you'd have known about it. You would have known about it the next fucking day.
It could have been a long. That could be a long bitch if I wanted to.
There was nothing in there. I think if there was, that we would have known
about it. Right. Yeah. Oh no, they absolutely. But what about the pictures, dude?
Pictures of.
What about all the pictures? What about the pictures of all the classified documents on the floor?
That was debunked within a fucking week, bro.
But they had evidence.
Right. They had classified folders marked classified. And you know what was in them? Nothing. They were empty folders. That shit got debunked like a week after the fact. Pretty sure we talked about that.
Yeah.
It was bullshit.
But they had evidence.
They used that purely as a political move. They went in there under the guise of national security to try to find something else about January 6th.
Right.
They found nothing. They know that the January 6th commission is a crack job. As a matter of fact, it's such a whack job. 2 of your most prime witnesses that you wanted to interview has like, fuck y'all. You can't do shit. Hell, Steve Bannon did a little 2.5-month prison sentence standing on his fucking head.
Right.
Like, what y'all gonna do? Fuck y'all. Donald Trump, he ignored the subpoena. He was supposed to answer to the subpoena the day before he announced his candidacy for president.
He ain't going in.
So now that he's a candidate for president, how are you gonna depose him without it being political? When we know that the J6 Commission is 100% political.
And before you complain, these are laws you made up.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I heard the other day. We had this conversation last week about how the Democrats are doing things illegally to get ballots. They're not, though. Everything they're doing.
We got 2 viewers.
Woohoo! is it us? Are we doing it ourselves? But everything that they're doing is perfectly legal in that state. You know, whether it's ballot harvesting or what it may be.
I mean, well,
those things are legal in that state.
It's like I said.
And so, with that being said, if the Republicans don't get on board with the ballot harvesting, who's left behind? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not against the law, so therefore the GOP needs to embrace it. You know, they need to say, hey, this is the future of going out and getting the votes.
Look, if you're not working these areas politically, then that's why you're losing these areas.
Mm-hmm. You can't.
I know it's hard for, I mean, look, I know it's hard for Donald Trump to walk into Compton and delegate for votes. I mean, because, there's just so many reasons. It's a high crime area.
Yeah,
it's not even about race. It's a high crime area. It's a impoverished area. You go parking 6 limos on the corner, and the wheels are actually probably going to come up missing. You know, that's just, life there. Remember, JFK walked the hollers of West Virginia.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying. So you gotta get out there, but that worked out in his favor because JFK was a Democrat, and at the time, so was West Virginia. The whole state was a Democrat for the longest time. You know what I mean? So it was easy to do that. I don't know, but back to what you said, it's hard to do these things, and you might be right, but it's hard to do anything that's worthwhile.
That's true.
You know,
that's true. So they said they were defunding the January 6th committee.
Mm-mm.
Right?
They won't do that. No, they won't do that because that automatically shows partisan politics.
All right.
They'll let that go through.
So,
but the January 6th commission's over.
What's with the new DOJ?
After January 20th, technically the January 6th commission is disbanded because Liz Cheney is out of office, and so is Adam Kinzinger. Those are the two Republicans they put on the commission. Adam Kinzinger didn't even run for re-election, and Liz Cheney got primaried out. So they're no longer senators or representatives.
Oh,
after January 20th. So that commission better figure out what the fuck they're doing, and they better release their final report because they've only got another month or two of actually being in existence. At least that's the way I understand it anyway. But they won't block funding for that because that just shows partisan politics. Right. No different than Joe Biden didn't block funding for the Durham report.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well, the DOJ announced they were starting a new investigation, but Marjorie Taylor Greene said they were going to use the Holman rule, which allows the House of Representatives to defund any investigative body. So basically what she came out and said was, which like you said, it's got to go up. But what she came out and said was, don't hire too many investigators because they're not going to get paid. Which these people, like I said, these folks come running out the gate.
Yeah.
They did. Well, as soon as Nancy Pelosi stepped down, they come running out the gate.
Yeah, and you have to. There's a lot of people talking right now. A lot of people talking about right now. But like we touched on a moment ago, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Because all the Republicans, you can talk all you want. But at the end of the day, it's the speaker that says, this commission is going to investigate this issue. This commission's going to do this. I'm Kevin McCarthy. I'm going to tell you what investigations we're launching. And I want to assign those investigations to the proper committees. So, and let's be real, dude. Kevin McCarthy is an old school fucking GOP Republican. He's not right-leaning. He's not left-leaning. He is a Republican. And he's going to go with the status quo. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz, and yeah, they're young and they're fiery, but they're not really. They're very similar to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
They are. They're far.
They're too much.
Yeah, they're definitely.
So we'll see what happens.
But their voice. You know what? Do you remember a few years back when they took power in the House and all these new, young, vibrant senators? Like, remember when she first came out when she was new and said the Green New Deal, and we all said that'll never happen. You can't do that. That's impossible.
We knew that.
That didn't age well.
Right. But what they did is they kept pushing the issue to the point where you got Joe Biden on board. And once you get the president on board, it's easy to pass your agenda. You know what I mean? So they did get some things pushed through.
Well, they just did it piece by piece.
You know what I mean? But
if you investigate all the money in the Ukraine, if you investigate all the insider trading, Republicans going to go to jail too. Nobody really wants that.
No.
Nobody
wants it. That's why they won't. Republicans are just as guilty as Democrats.
Cousins of Republicans will be going to jail.
So, and that's the thing. Especially when it's shaping up to be like it is. Because that's how it was this past session for the Democrats in the House. Yes, they had the majority, but barely. I think they had the majority by 10 or 12 seats. They didn't have a super majority like they had in years past. So, when you got 10 or 12 seats as your majority, and you got 8 or 10, 12 Republicans or Democrats in that case that are holding out. You got Republicans or Democrats in this case that are holding out against legislation that your party wants to push through. I'm not signing shit. I'm going to need you to put some of my stuff in that bill there.
Right.
So you never know how things are going to play out because we're not going to have a big majority. And when we pass something, we need every Republican on board. And you're not going to get Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz and Lauren Boebert. You're not going to get them on board unless you include something in there for them. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But I think the majority of the Republicans agree. At bare minimum, you need hearings / impeachment of Homeland Secretary and Customs and Border Patrol. At least hearings, possible impeachment. You need investigation into Hunter Biden and his connection to the big guy and Burisma and Ukraine. All that needs to be investigated. And then you need to investigate Dr. Fauci. I think those are the three main ones that we can agree on. And Eric Swalwell, Ocasio-Cortez, the Tlaib woman, they all need to be taken off, just like they did us.
They announced that Cortez is coming off the committees for anti-Semitism.
Yep, they should. You can't be on Foreign Affairs Committee if you're anti-Semite or if you're a Semite or whatever.
Whatever it means. Yeah.
You can't do it.
You can't do it. You shouldn't be in government.
And you can't be on the intelligence community if you're sleeping with a fucking Chinese spy. Common sense should tell you this shit.
That's right.
So just like they took committee assignments away from Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're going to do the same thing to those extreme left-wing people in that party. So I think that's going to be interesting. At bare minimum, within the first few weeks after January 20th, you'll see those investigations being launched and those few people taken off committees. Right. At least I think so anyway.
None of it, all this has been said for at least 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just now Like I said, when they got the microphone, they went to work. Like the investigation into, I mean, I can't believe we haven't like hopped this bus yet, but the investigation into Joe Biden himself.
Can't really.
Did you
launch
hear
that
the announcement
until he leaves office?
Did you hear that announcement?
Apparently not. Like I've told you before, man, I don't
Oh,
watch no
wow.
TV during the weekend. I got no free time on weekends.
So yeah, they actually
So whatever news happened over the weekend, I probably missed a lot of shit.
keep talking here. And
But what was it? What'd you find?
Well, there's a 35-minute version and a 54-second version. Which one you want?
I'll take the 54 seconds.
By 2025, e-commerce is projected to reach
I suggest you watch
total retail revenue,
the 35-minute version soon.
Whistleblowers describe President Biden as chairman of the board for these businesses. He personally participated in meetings and phone calls. Documents show that he was a partner with access to an office. To be clear, Joe Biden is the big guy.
Yeah, we knew that.
This evidence raises troubling questions about whether President Biden is a national security risk and about whether he is compromised by foreign governments. In the 118th Congress, this committee will evaluate the status of Joe Biden's relationship with his family's foreign partners and whether he is a president who is compromised or swayed by foreign dollars and influence. I want to be clear. This is an investigation of Joe Biden, and that's where the committee will focus in this next Congress.
Cool. I like to see it. I like to see it, especially when there's that much evidence.
Right.
You know, there's that much evidence that he knew exactly what was going on.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, like I said, I suggest you watch the 35-minute version because it's pretty astonishing. They go into a lot of different pieces of evidence. A lot.
I might check that out later.
It's an interesting, like I said, that's what I mean by they came out the gate running. No, the laptop, and just watching the like congressional questioning is heated. Like you can really tell that the Democrats that still have a little bit of power in the, or how do I say this? The Democrats still have a little bit of pull on the floor time, or shadier.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
They, they're more interruptive. There's less of them. They're more interruptive. And the questions coming from the Republican side, or just the questions coming from the questioners in general, are much more direct and much more. They feel like, you can tell they feel like what they're asking means something now. Like
right.
This answer isn't going to get brushed under a rug. If you give me an answer, I can't think of his name. I don't even know what state he's from. He's a guy. He's got glasses. He's probably in his 50s. And he kept asking. He goes. So he said. He said, so are you using social media to gather information for government investigations, and then using that information to circle back and get the warrant on somebody, like double investigating it? And he was like, I'm not sure what you're talking about. And he was like, okay, then I'm going to say you said no in front of Congress. And you could just see he went like, no. It's like that guy just got. It's like
it's like when they questioned the FBI director.
It's new manager syndrome.
Like it was easy to talk around talk around the question because they knew that each Republican senator only had a few minutes of questioning time. So all you had to do was talk and waste time. So I hope they get to the bottom of all of it. I really do. But, you know, I mean, I just don't. I don't know, man. Like I said, I told you last week or week before last, dude. I've lost all faith in the political spectrum as a whole. You know what I mean? And I don't care if it's right or left. I don't care who fucking wins. Dude, when it takes 14 days to count votes, you got me fucked up. And I hope I'm aligning with the majority of Americans out there. You got me fucked up. And I barely have a fucking college education.
Yeah.
You know what? You got me fucked up if you ever expect me to believe that it takes 14 days to count. I told you last week.
It's 2022.
If I won the fucking lottery and you gave me $500 million in $1 bills, I would know how the fuck much money I had within a couple days tops.
Especially if I hired people to count it with me.
Motherfuckers, there's no, you can't. That shit fucks me up.
You know, I feel like I said, I feel like every electoral counter should have a little button in their pocket, like a little pin with a button on it, a little cover so you can't accidentally hit it. And if you see anything fucking fishy, if anybody comes up to you and says anything fishy, like, okay, listen, all the Republicans can go to lunch, all the Republican watchers can go to lunch. Click.
No, I'm not. That's
you know, like dude, stops everything.
That's an extreme situation, though.
Like,
you know what I mean? That's not.
This is
that's
shit that's
not
happening.
The kind of shit. It doesn't happen as often as they make it. They make you think it does.
Right.
The majority, especially here in West Virginia and a lot of other right-wing states, are the same way. You know what I mean? You walk into the voting booth, you show an ID, which is commonplace around here, has been for years. You show the ID, you go and you vote. Your fucking ballot is slid through a fucking machine and it's counted. Okay? That's your average election. That's the way it should work. For me, you open early voting here a week before actual voting. You can go and place your vote early. Okay, a week early. A week or 2, 3, 4 weeks prior to that, so 6 weeks before an election, they start mailing out these ballots to anybody that requested them.
Some people didn't.
But here's the thing. So 6 weeks before the election, you start mailing out ballots to people that requesting whatever, some that don't, however the process works. 6 weeks prior to the election, but you can't count any of these mail-in votes until after the election. No, because 6 weeks prior to the vote, these mail-in ballots are sitting where? Secured? Unsecured? Where the fuck are they? It doesn't take 6 weeks for things to come in the mail, especially in your own city. You're not mailing a ballot from your house in Philadelphia to New Jersey. No, you're mailing it to downtown Philadelphia where they count the fucking vote.
But there's no voting station counting votes until
after the election. I get that part.
So you're right. Where are they sitting? Warehouse 13?
Right. Who's securing those ballots? We're talking 6 fucking weeks. These ballots are just where? Where are they?
Well,
I want to know where they are.
You have a 6-week window to just make shit up.
Right. And then you're going to sit here and tell me that some of them come in way after the election. No.
If you can't get that ballot in by the election, fuck you.
Dude, you remember when Donald Trump was president right in the midterms and he fucking was like, the post office better get this shit right. He raised a big stink about the post office getting shit right. Because everybody said that these ballots were arriving days and weeks late. Like the post office was holding them or something. Dude, I think a whole...
Yeah. But that's the thing about it. Once there's something shady, there should be an investigation. There should really be. I don't care whose side it's on.
And it's
if it's 4 a.m. and a Republican's vote count after nobody should be counting votes at 4 a.m., jumps up 70%. Investigate that shit.
Yeah, just like it did with President Biden. Just like happened.
Democrats are slick. They do that
Overnight.
Just to make it.
This motherfucker got like 2 million votes overnight. You know what I mean? But to me, that's the problem. You know what I mean? That you got too much government interference.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let the states handle their vote with a little bit of federal funding, maybe. Outside of that, the federal government needs to keep their hands out of shit. It's a states' rights issue. It's our right to elect whoever the fuck we want. It has nothing to do with the federal government.
No.
Federal government has way too much power. And they get that power from us, the people. But we've delegated way too much power to these fools. They don't know shit. Dude, I heard it best put by one of my friends several years ago, man. Public sector employees are private sector failures. Like, these motherfuckers don't know shit about what's good for the average American. And we entrust them to everything.
Right.
Education. They fucked that up all to hell.
Yeah, they think they don't understand. None of these people really understand. And even the people that come from the working class are $80,000-$90,000 a year coal mine managers. You know what I mean? Like they still don't understand what it's like to go to Walmart and spend the majority of your check on groceries, go home, pay the bills, and hope you have gas to get to work, knowing if you don't get to work, you won't have a job. You know,
and part of that, exactly what you just said, is why people like me, and maybe even you, I don't know how you feel on a day-to-day level, but I'm starting to get to the point where I don't feel represented, even by the representatives that I elect. Because I am electing people that make $174,000 a year. Meanwhile, I'm squeaking out on 40. What the fuck? You don't represent me because you have someone that goes and does your shopping for you. And Walmart delivers to your house or something. You don't represent me because you don't know what I'm like. Alex Mooney is one of them. This dude lives in Berkeley Springs, which is one of the richest parts of our state. And it's also 30 or maybe 55 miles from DC. He lives in the suburb of DC. He lives in our state, but dude, you can throw a rock from his house to the Maryland border. Like he's not one of us. He's a Republican, and I elect him, or I voted for him. Not this past one, but the election before, because he was one of our representatives. We had 3 districts. Now we only have 2. So this time I voted for Carol Miller because Alex Mooney's not in my district anymore. But dude, he doesn't. Carol Miller's another one.
People care.
You know who Carol Miller is? Carol Miller, she's the Republican that represents our district, like down here. She's like Huntington, Kanawha, Putnam. She's our senator over here. Or representative, House of Representative, maybe. Yeah, because it's Shelley Moore Capito and Manchin are our senators. So Carol Miller and Alex Mooney are our representatives. And Carol Miller, you see her on TV every fucking day and don't even know it. Don't even fucking know it. Her husband, who's passed away now, was Dutch Miller, who owns all these fucking car lots and was in politics his whole life.
Yeah.
They got so much money, they don't even know what to do with it.
Nobody makes a better politician than the car salesman.
And, like, they earn that money. I'm not saying that I'm not that person that's jealous because you make money. I'm jealous because you make money and you pretend to represent the little folk like me. When in reality, there's no way you know what I go through on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a fucking clue what we go through on a daily basis. They're not one of our fucking representatives that we have right now has ever sat in front of that goddamn fireplace and lit that motherfucker to keep the house warm.
Right.
Not one of them. What the fuck do they know?
Right.
about day-to-day struggles.
Right. But people
So-
people like us can't afford.
Right.
I don't know, man. Social media's got a lot of power nowadays.
Social media is fake as fuck. Everybody on social media is fake as fuck.
That's true.
And you meet them in
That's
real
true.
life, and they're not
Yeah.
half the fucking person they act like they are. On fucking
They're walking
Facebook.
fucking emojis.
Yeah, dude, it's unreal. I don't even fuck with social media anymore. I scroll through TikTok. Yeah, I like the Chinese TikTok.
There's some true shit on there. And then there's the crazy tweaker in the desert that talks about crystals and higher vibrations and shit.
yeah. That's it's always that guy.
He gets a kick. I get a kick out of
But
it.
you know, he only is allowed to be that because of the freedom that this country provides.
God bless
So,
America.
You know, it's
You know
the same
what?
way. It's the same reason why you don't hear about you don't hear about the when was the last time you heard anything about the protests in Iran?
I was reading about it yesterday.
You had to read about it. You ain't seen no news coverage on it because
No.
all those protesters have been beheaded already.
No, I dig a lot.
They're
Yeah.
getting ready. They're getting ready to execute 14,000 protesters, dude. Like Iran's like, no, fuck you. You don't have time to go against
Do you
us.
know who they blame?
Oh, they probably blame us.
They blame us.
course
They
they do.
blame our woke culture.
Of course they do.
But listen, there's a question here. As you know how the internet works. You know that in Russia, they don't see our American propaganda shit.
No.
We legitimately,
They have to search it out.
they have to pump it in. Well, apparently, according to the Iranian government, there was a legitimate operation. Okay, he fucking used the word, whatever, it translates to operation of Americanized woke propaganda that was pumped into their social media platforms.
Of course it was.
So,
Of course it was.
I mean, that's,
But it is no different than
that's psychological
I
warfare.
think it was
but-
last week, right before our episode last week. I saw something on the news where Putin's friend and ally admitted to the CIA that he interfered with our elections in 2016. Admitted to it. So they're doing the same shit to us. There's no doubt we're not. We probably started it. Like,
But nobody talks about the other half of that story. How? Did you interfere with our elections in 2016 by allowing an operative to sell a dossier that would incriminate the person who would not most likely sell you nuclear weapons?
Not in that particular situation. In that particular situation, he admitted to influencing social media threads. So spreading disinformation.
Oh, okay.
That's basically what he was guilty of. And there are still no charges filed.
Is it disinformation? No, wait.
I mean,
No.
When you put out
Is it-
untrue shit on Facebook, and I saw it,
disinformation.
you saw it.
Yeah.
Complete untrue shit about Donald Trump.
Yeah,
That's disinformation.
that's disinformation.
Yes, you can say it's social media. You gotta no.
No, it's
No.
disinformation.
You're putting false shit into people's eyes.
Well, I mean,
And not nobody, very select will ever research it. I saw it on Facebook. It has to be fucking true. It has to be. Let's scroll on.
they
Let's
do
go.
the same shit with like MSNBC and shit.
No one looks into shit and
Yeah.
see the real story, man. Like,
When the missile, the Ukrainian missile hit Poland, and they were saying Russia did it, I started like getting into like, dude, I'll go to Russian news sites or Indian news sites or Polish news sites, and you can hit translate and
You
read
can.
their papers.
you can.
And there were pictures. There were pictures of in one of the, I think it was the India paper. There were pictures of the missile scrap laying there, and then a picture of a Ukrainian defense rocket next to it, and it was showing the bolt alignment. And I was like, "Oh,
Yes.
that's
And,
that's
you know,
know.
I understand that. You know, you actually searched out things.
yeah," because I get
But
bored.
my thing is like, you brought it up a few weeks ago. How BlackRock owns fucking everything, or they have a controlling stake in a lot of these companies. Media is no different. Social media is no different.
Oh yeah, they own the media too.
They own it all. Like
Yeah.
8, just in our country alone, it's like 4 people own 100 news outlets. You know what I mean? I mean, Rupert Murdoch owns Fox. You hear that, Fox. It sounds like this is one channel. No. This dude owns TV stations in England, India, Australia. He owns them all, dude. So what's the difference between this propaganda and that propaganda? That's the thing.
None. They sit at the same table.
Even though you're searching up, you're going to hear the same news stories most of the time. And that's the problem. We have very few news outlets. They'll say, here's the news. If you're interested in it, search it up. You don't get the Newsmax is one of them that I like that just gives you the news.
Right.
They don't claim to be right or left leaning.
Right.
They just give it to you.
Right.
You know, give it to you straight. You go research it and decide for yourself.
Right.
That's the way it should be.
Well, there's a lot of just ignoring facts with a lot of the news networks. It is.
It's sad because you're supposed to be the news,
Mm.
which news literally stands for notable events, weather, and sports. Just give it to me.
And fuck you. I didn't know that.
Did you not?
No, I never knew that.
Oh my God. I thought everybody knew
The
that.
fuck you just do to me?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, it's like the arrow on the FedEx truck. I'll never unsee it. Oh.
Yeah. I thought everybody knew that. Yeah,
No.
that's what the news stands for. So I just want you to tell me what's happening. I don't care about your personal spin. I couldn't give a fuck less.
No.
Just give me the
fucking
I
news.
like the local news.
Did you see the guy
local
that
news
made it on?
says, it's fucking cold out here and your sports team lost yesterday. Have a great day.
Did you see the guy that made it on Tucker Carlson?
The what?
Oh my God, this guy makes it on Tucker Carlson. We need another laptop so we can quick fast track the TV and shit.
Right.
This guy makes it up on Tucker Carlson. And Tucker Carlson tells him, your website's fake. I looked you up. Your name is fake.
Who is it?
As
Who
far
is it?
it's this
Somebody you would know or I would know?
no,
Listen
just
to his name?
some guy that was on all the news outlets.
Huh.
Guy trolls Tucker Carlson. Oh. Throws. Google can do anything except understand an Appalachian accent. Right. But this guy, oh shit.
Of course, it's going to give you a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Well, anyway, this guy shows up on Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson says, as far as I can tell, your website, he had been on CNN. He had been on MSNBC.
Was he talking about any particular area?
Yeah. I'm getting there. He has a company that helps fund protests against Donald Trump. Tucker Carlson investigates this guy because he's on all the news channels, and Carlson looks this guy up. He says, I can't find your company. I found your website. Your website's only been up like 2 weeks, and you don't. He said your company, as far as I can tell, has never had any financial transactions. Like, he dug into this guy, and this guy, he looks at him and he goes, "So who are you?" And he gives him like a real smart ass answer. He's like, "Well, you know who I am. I mean, you've investigated me." He was like, "Yeah, but you don't exist." He said, "Your social security number's fake." He said, "You don't exist." He said, "All the information you use to start all your companies and websites is all falsified, and your 3 friends that work with you, none of them are real.
Wow.
And he's like, well, he was like, it became apparently obvious to me that it's pretty easy to get onto any news channel nowadays. He said, all you have to do is, he was like, I just want you to know, though, Carlson, just about 20 minutes ago, we all had a board meeting, and we're no longer funding protests against Donald Trump. We're now funding protests against the Democratic Party. We've just had a change in stance. And he said, how are you getting on these news channels? He said, you just gave us 15 minutes, Carlson. He said, you just gave me 5 minutes. All he did was prove how easy it is to give an agreeable opinion, claim you're doing something for the cause, and they will throw you up under the spotlight on every news channel and make you a hero, and not even look into you.
Yep.
He said
Especially
it.
if you're against Donald Trump.
He said it. I got all the way onto your show before anybody questioned me. And Tucker started Tucker's laugh, man. He just, he said, you have a good day, sir. He was like, fuck.
What can you say?
You just
'Cause,
melted. This man just melted this man. Tucker
Every one
Carlson.
of those news networks paid him to be on there, so he got paid. Plus, he got the publicity. Plus,
Tucker Carlson's been trying to melt the system for a decade. This kid did it on his show in 7 minutes. Melted the entire system to the ground. It was great. Great.
Gotta love it.
It was great. I'll find a link and send it to you. But he's just, you looked into me. You know who I am. He's like, no, I don't know who you are. You don't exist. And he was like, I mean, I've been on 5 different news
How long did it
channels.
take you to find that out?
You know, he's like, you've been on Facebook. I've been on 4 different news channels. Surely you know who I am. You're the first person of all the news channels I went on to go, you don't exist. Who the fuck are you? You're the first one to actually investigate me. No, it was great. Also, in case you didn't know, man, Sharia don't like it. Beer, soccer, beer with their soccer. What gays?
All the gays from Israel?
What gays?
There.
You don't remember that interview, man? I'll never find it. I'm not going to burn the time. So, just before Donald Trump sent the drone in and killed
Soleimani or whatever.
Soleimani, there was an interview about 6 months before that. They were executing homosexuals.
Who's they? Iran?
Okay. They were
Iran.
throwing Iran. They were throwing them off of fucking roofs.
Yeah.
Because that's what their Bible tells them to do. Which is cheap.
Not really.
It's cheap. It's less it's
I don't think the Quran
more
it's throw homosexuals off the.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Challenge that.
I'm
I've
pretty
never. Islam is not a hateful religion.
somewhere along the line, someone decided what it said was
Interpreted that way.
yes.
But I don't think the Quran
That's the
says
Sharia way.
throw the homosexuals off the roof. I'm pretty sure it doesn't say that.
No, but that's
It might have some ye's and these in there. But I'm pretty sure it doesn't say throw the homos off the roof, bro.
we are going to investigate this. And we were next week. We're going to go in. That's a good subject. Yeah. So, okay. Once, we both know the Bible's got some stuff in there that so,
But even then, even still, the Bible doesn't say throw the homosexuals off the roof.
No, it don't. It don't. Yeah. But anyway, they were throwing homosexuals off the roof. Off of roofs. And this reporter walks up to Al Soleimani on an airstrip right next to an airplane, shoves that microphone. So, it's my understanding that it's our understanding that you are executing people for being homosexual. What do you what is your do you have a what's the word? Do you have
An opinion.
an
or a
opinion?
statement
Do
or
you have a
something.
statement? This man's reaction, 5 best reactions up there with Saddam Hussein when they had him. His reaction was this. What homosexuals?
We already killed them. There ain't none here now.
Wasn't too long after that, a drone took him out on that same airstrip. But his answer, like I can't, like I can hate you for your beliefs and still love you for your character. His answer, his
Right, but that's also what made Trump the person that he is, the president that he is, or that he was.
right.
I mean, because he didn't, just based off your context clues, I'm gonna say that interview took place in Iran,
Mm-hmm.
like on the airport or on the street, whatever you said. But Soleimani wasn't killed in Iran because that would be in a direct attack.
Mm.
Soleimani was killed in Iraq
Oh,
in a motorcade,
oh,
and the drone killed him. That's the reason why Iran really has no grounds for, you know what I mean?
tell Iran that.
Oh yeah, there's a hit. There's a hit. There's a hit. I guarantee you Donald Trump's got a price on his head. They want Donald Trump dead, or they want someone equal to Soleimani, which would be like General Milley, or which no one really cares about the Joint Chiefs staff anymore anyway.
No,
They're just the left arm to the fucking president.
look, man. Since Schwarzkopf, I mean, I'll honestly say that. What's his name? General one under Trump. What was his name?
Yeah, Flynn.
Flynn was up there. Flynn was close, but he wasn't the same cloth as Schwarzkopf. Schwarzkopf was like, "Hey, we flattened them poor motherfuckers for you."
Yeah, Schwarzkopf was.
He wasn't even tactful about it. He was just tactical.
He was this era's fucking Patton for sure.
Absolutely.
There can only be one of those. Every 40 or 50 years of our military, it can only be one person that's that strong.
Woo! I love watching. And it's funny because I'll just turn it on randomly sometimes. Schwarzkopf giving the briefing after Kuwait. And he's just like, so what we did was we knew we had to. I got to grab a Mountain Dew. Stay right here.
Got to refuel.
Got to refuel.
Got to refuel with some Mountain Dew. The official soft drink of Redneck Energy.
Hell yeah. 3 times sugar of Pepsi. Say it like it's an advertising mark.
Right.
But anyway, so Schwarzkopf's like, so we had all of our ships line up off the coast. And every day we were sending out all of our troop carriers to line up outside the ships. And then we put them back. So they had them watching the ocean while they performed the largest. He said, we hired local truckers, volunteers, like name it. They basically got everybody in Kuwait that didn't want Iraq there to bring their Hyundai over here so we could at least put a box of ammo in the back of it,
Right.
and a troop. And they did the largest the largest mass troop and equipment movement ever in history. They moved. The numbers are crazy. Like, it's not the troops. I mean, you can move 10,000 troops. That's tell them to fucking walk.
Right.
You know. But they also moved all the bases, the ammunition, the artillery, the aircraft, the air base, everything west like west diagonally across the border, like 250 miles. They moved everything like the Roman army, set it back up real quick. And then when they came through with the fucking A-10s and the F-14s, everybody was still facing the other way.
That's great.
A-10s and Apaches were the first wave.
Kind of reminds me of a story. It was on some YouTube video I watched or some show I watched. I don't know. I can't specifically name it. But the story was being told by a Navy SEAL. This particular guy, remember the story of Black Hawk Down?
Yes. That happened while I was in
Somalia?
Yeah.
Something like that. So during that time.
I'm sorry. The Owen Wilson movie happened while I was in.
Right.
My bad.
But during that time, there was a base right outside of Somalia. And the Navy SEAL was telling us that there were no offensive operations planned out of that base before this whole Black Hawk Down situation. But for a month and a half prior to that operation, every 4 hours, every 4 hours for a month and a half, the Navy SEALs would take 10 Humvees and a couple armored personnel carriers every 4 hours and do a loop around the city. Mogadishu.
Right.
Somalia is the country. Mogadishu was the city. I couldn't remember the name of it. They would do a lap around Mogadishu, come right back to the base every 4 hours. That circle would take about 2.5 hours. They did this morning, noon, night, didn't matter. Every 4 hours, round the clock for fucking 90 days prior to this operation. And you tell them that was just to get the people in Mogadishu, because you don't know. Every 4 hours. Every 4 hours, these people were getting woke up by this rumbling convoy coming through their fucking town.
Right.
And then one day they come through with the same convoy, 9 Black Hawks, 2 attack helicopters. They just brought the whole shitstorm down on top of it.
We brought gifts.
And that's the reason that you hear, that's the reason. He says he believes that that's the exact reason that Black Hawk got shot down. Those 2 Black Hawks got shot down because there were so many targets for them. That was such a full-scale operation that there's no way that a Black Hawk helicopter can look at his target and see behind him.
Right.
There was too many targets in the sky and there's too many rocket launchers being fired. He said that the odds were against us.
They call us free, but we don't all have RPGs.
Mm-mm.
Why don't we all have RPGs? We're free. I want an RPG, damn it. I mean, if Russia flies over with one of their Hinds or whatever they're using nowadays, shouldn't I be able to shoot that down? They can shoot mine down.
And I firmly believe that if any country ever does get the balls to invade us, you will see there's more rocket launchers out here than you think there are.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the great thing about this country. You do a good job, you don't got to register shit. You don't got to tell the federal government you ain't got nothing.
Right.
If you're good at it.
Right.
You got to be good at it.
Right. Right. So you watching the Cup at all? You don't
Hell
follow
no.
soccer, do you?
Nope. Boring.
But this year it's extra boring because there's no alcohol.
Yeah, after Budweiser paid millions of dollars for the rights to sell alcohol, and it's not like they just they didn't announce that 4 years ago.
Yeah, well, Sharia don't like it.
Sharia don't like it.
Be with the soccer. Be with the soccer. So far, where we're at is, because
Sharia also don't like the fact that Qatar's a Middle Eastern country and Israel has a soccer team playing in the World Cup.
Right.
I'm sure they don't like that either.
No.
I'm sure they don't like Jews hanging out in their Middle Eastern territory. Are you still allowed to say Jew?
I don't think so.
Is that
I mean, I think you can.
Is it one of those things that like Jews can call each other Jews, but like the black people, they can only use that word? Is that how this works?
I'm sure they got words for each other we could never be allowed to use. Well, so far where we're at is just for markups. Ecuador has beat Qatar 2-0 yesterday, and England beat Iran 3-0 yesterday. So we're already learning drinkers are better at soccer.
Yeah.
Today, USA is playing Wales. I think that's at 11 or 2. It might already be on. And Sweden's playing the Netherlands. So I'm excited for the USA-Wales game.
Well,
Man, we got a soccer team because we did with our soccer team what we do with everything else. We leech the best talent from every country. And we built a Class A genetically engineered soccer team. They're good. The women's is better, but the men's is good. Our women's soccer team, man, I swear they lab grew them. They're badass, dude. They are badass.
Well, the thing about our soccer team this year is it's the youngest soccer team that we've had in years. I think the average age, like our team captain's like 23. We have a very young soccer team this year.
Excited to watch it.
So it's going to be exciting to see them grow into a world power. But they're not going to do it right now. But they said something this morning on the news, and it was an interesting stat. It said 90% of all the world's talent in soccer exist on 5 teams. Was there 32 teams in the World Cup?
All right. So what are those 5 teams?
I think it's going to be England, China, America, Brazil, maybe. I don't know.
Brazil's powerful.
I mean,
Okay, we'll go with Brazil. I'll put Brazil on that list.
England's got a really good team.
Nobody wants to say the R word, but Russia tends to have a pretty badass team.
China has a decent team, but
well, yeah. But I try not to count the countries where if you lose, they execute you.
well, kind of got to count them.
They're motivated.
Right. I mean, they have a lot more to lose than I do.
So we were talking earlier about what was his name? The internet personality. Before we started the podcast, we were talking about
Oh, yeah. Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate. Man,
My daughter hates him.
why?
She says he hates gays.
He doesn't hate gays. He has an opinion on certain things.
He doesn't hate
You know,
them.
our problem as a society is we've gotten to a point where we think I can agree with you on one subject and disagree with you on another. Hell, I can agree with you on
Not in today's.
I can disagree with you on every subject, but still at least think you have honest and good character. You know,
But not in today's society.
because if we go back and dig up everything anybody ever said ever in history and judge them on the worst thing they said, man, we're all fucked.
Oh, yeah. That's 100%.
We're all in a lot of trouble.
And that's where it all starts. Is Andrew Tate is a celebrity. He used to be a UFC fighter. He's got a little money. I mean, but he doesn't align himself with your average celebrity. You know, he's not in that bubble.
Mm-mm.
Dude, he's been deplatformed and so many times that they tried to demonetize him to a point where he was like not able to feed his family. So he was like, fuck it. This dude went and created his own bank. He has his own bank because the woke elite was trying to cancel him. Like, cut him off, deplatformed him from every fucking social media site out here, tried to demonetize him off of everything. So he said, fuck it, I just do myself.
Right. Well,
And
okay, if you say something absolutely asinine, you know what? Alex Jones, good example for this. If you say some shit that is absolutely so asinine, offensive, maybe he's not, because people weren't offended, even though they knew he was full of shit. But acidine, offensive, untrue, just totally stupid. Totally like something to piss off the world. Like you think Adolf Hitler was good and on, you know, whatever it is. People will just stop listening to you. They don't need Nike's help, dude.
right.
They don't need the internet's help. They don't need the Twitter people to come out and say, I'm going to silence you. Sorry, Elon. No, that was a historical comment. You know, but there, you know, we don't need Facebook's help to tell us not to listen to somebody. If you come out and say something, and my problem is that when they say somebody said something horrifically untrue and I go listen to it, I frequently find that they just said something true in an asshole manner.
But I mean, I'm sure I have a differing belief on some things, you know, and our freedom of speech is one of them. I firmly believe that there's no such thing as hate speech.
Mm-mm.
All speech is free. You should have the right to say what the fuck you want.
Right.
If you want to be a racist fucking bigot, by all means. But with that freedom comes the possibility that you're going to take a lot of ass whoopings, bro.
Right.
And you have to take that. You have to, if you choose to be a racist bigot, you have to accept the fact that you're going to say something to the wrong dude and you're going to get your face cracked in. That's a very good possibility.
Right.
Just like I don't like Alex Jones. I think he's really just he makes money off of his fiery personality.
He was
And
right. He was right once, twice.
He's right about
Years
a lot
back.
of shit. His conspiracy theories are fucking on point, a lot of them. But when he said that fucking Newtown school massacre was a hoax, I still don't see how those words, school massacre was a hoax and staged by actors, that's still free speech. It's ignorant as fuck,
Yeah.
but it's still free speech. And now he has to pay like $1 billion because he said those few words. That's fucked up.
Right.
All speech is free. There's no such thing as hate speech. Just because you don't like it doesn't make it hate speech.
Worse than that, the legal precedent has been set.
Not yet. Because no way that this goes to the level. Alex Jones has money. He's not just gonna, because some judge said so, he's not just gonna write a check for $700 million.
No.
He's taking this all the way to the Supreme Court. Many federal judges between there and the Supreme Court are conservative judges and are going to side with the fact that freedom of speech is freedom of speech, because you can't tell me that Alex Jones saying what he said about the school massacre is any more damaging than the media calling Kyle Rittenhouse a racist. You can't convince me of that. It's the same fucking thing. It's a flat out lie, and it's damaging to that individual.
Right.
You cannot tell me that the parents of those poor kids that got massacred had their fame or whatever, not their fame, but had their person severely damaged by words that Alex Jones said.
Right.
Kyle Rittenhouse is about to get paid. So maybe
According to him on Twitter, he hasn't gotten a dime yet.
Not yet. He's suing everybody though. He's suing LeBron James. He's suing CNN. He's suing all kinds of people. And you know that's just going to take time.
He ain't got to lift a finger to do it.
No.
No.
Dude, he's got so much publicity. He probably got the best lawyer in the world.
Somebody said on Twitter the other day, and I was like, damn, that might be on point. They said, you know what Elon just did? He destroyed Truth Social because he allowed all the free speech to come back to Twitter. So Truth Social was kind of created because
he got kicked off Twitter. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What the media won't report on. Damn, sorry. That combo didn't want to go down. What the media won't report on is how well Truth Social's doing, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
I don't like it. There's
know,
nobody to argue with. If I can't
point.
upset somebody every now and then.
That's the point. And that right there is exactly the reason that you're going to see Donald Trump back on Twitter.
Yeah.
He has Truth Social to talk to his followers and the people that follow him and align with his beliefs.
Right.
He can do that on Truth Social. But to piss off the masses, Twitter's still here. Because Twitter's really good for that. Every time you ought to see the fucking haters, dude. You get on Twitter and follow Ted Cruz. Every time he posts something, the very first comment is like, "You're such a piece of shit." You fucking like the haters come out. The haters come out. Like there is no hope. They're not hiding. They're like, "You're a fucking piece of shit." And I get on there all the time, and I'm like, I don't know which is funnier. The fact that you're a Texas resident living in Texas and your taxpayer dollars are funding his dude Twitter page, or the fact that he don't ever read shit. He's got handlers that type this shit for him. He probably don't even know how to get on Twitter. You over here calling this man every name in the book, and he ain't never been on Twitter. He don't even know you exist. Your taxpayer dollars are paying for the aid that typed that fucking message. It sure as fuck wasn't Ted Cruz. None of these politicians are on their own Twitter feed. You know, they hire people for that shit.
I kind of, half-ass little rant, man. But I got on Truth Social and I downloaded it and I got me an account and I started scrolling through there and I seen it. And this keeps me middle. This is good. This is what keeps me in the middle of the road. Because, man, the golden calf syndrome. The golden calf syndrome is real. Right. I will probably vote for Donald Trump in the upcoming election. There's no question. Right now, there's no other options on the table. So right now, he's definitely. I'm not voting for Biden. So he's already, got that chunk. I don't know what my other options will be by then. I don't know what will go on in the world by then. But, dude, the golden calf syndrome. Only Donald Trump can save it. Look, no. Any candidate with his patriotic feelings and heart, any veteran who understands his Constitution and wants to preserve his country, he's not your savior. He just has the ideals you agree with. And many other men will come and have these ideals and run. Stop golden calfing. If they assassinate that poor man tomorrow, y'all will be so lost that it'll be hopeless. You won't even vote in the next election, even if somebody else with the exact same ideals as him runs. Get off your golden calves. I hate watching it. Truth Social, I love going on there and reading to see the things that I don't see everywhere else, but fuck.
Right. But let me give you a small rebuttal on that point. Because if it's a big if, because we've seen it in the past and I don't think he can do it. If he can maintain Donald Trump, if he can maintain his presidency, or his candidacy for the president this time around, the way he handled his announcement speech, he's gonna win.
Oh,
he's gonna win because I like the Donald Trump that just comes out and states facts. I don't like the Donald Trump that says crazy Nancy Pelosi or the sanctimonious Ron DeSantis. That's his marketing plan. I don't like it when he attacks other people.
right.
I just want you to tell me what you're going to do to make my life better. I don't care about you attacking the other person or the other party. And the way he laid that shit out when he announced, did you watch his announcement speech? The way he laid it out is this is how it was when I was president versus this is how it is right now. You lay out nothing but facts. People are going to vote for you.
When he ran the first
That
time,
marketing shit where he makes up names for people and calls people names, and that's fucking stupid.
when he ran the first time, he did exactly what you just said. You know, he said, "This is how America is. This is what I want to do." And he would turn around in a heartbeat and call people out directly on their direct, responsible bullshit.
Yeah.
Right to their faces. And I love that.
And that
But
was
you're
the great
right.
part.
You're right. Once he got in office, he was. But I mean,
That
you know,
debate. That
let's-
debate with Hillary
let's-
Clinton was,
let's take 5 seconds though, a literal 5-second silent break. I did this the other day, and was like just a 5-second silent break of what that man went through from the House and the Senate while he was in office,
let me.
all the way down to Nancy tearing his speech up right behind. I mean, if this guy wants to call them some names, I think he earned a couple, but he's overboard.
Yeah, definitely, and I see that. But here's my rebuttal to that point. It's Donald Trump. I said it earlier. Public sector employees, private sector failures. Donald Trump spent his whole life and career in the private sector doing real estate deals. How many times you think someone's looked at him and be like, you can go fuck yourself? In business, it happens every fucking day.
Right.
Somebody tells you to stick a dick in your ass at least once a day because you've come to them with such a bullshit fucking proposal. Things are swayed in your direction so hard that the deal is just like, you can go fuck yourself, dude.
Yeah.
All the little shit that the House did to him during his presidency was nothing to that man. You saw how he still carried himself, even through 2 impeachments. This man got off of Air Force One, and the first thing he did, tighten up that motherfucking tie, salute the motherfucker at the bottom of the steps. Fuck the press. Fuck you. Matter of fact, fuck my wife. She's walking behind me so I can salute you properly. That's the first thing, even after all the shit. All the way up to the day of January 6th. I feel like he left the office like a little bitch. You know what I mean? He
Right.
should have attended Biden's inauguration, no matter what he thought. He should have done the right fucking thing.
Right.
Without that, look at all of the shit that he went through, like you said, and look at the way he carried himself the whole time. I don't care if he just got off a 14-hour flight with 2 hours of sleep.
So
You never saw that man like,
you do. There is
Fucking
one.
tired.
There is one picture of him coming home at 2:00 in the morning, hat
haven't
in
seen it.
hand,
Yeah.
suit half undone. But you know
Yes.
what? You know what? It said 18. It said. You know, here's a man coming home from hard work, going home to his family.
Yeah.
So Elon, when he unlocked his Twitter, his old tweets came back.
Huh.
Here's what he tweeted on January 6th. He just shot the January 6th committee in the face again. That was his tweets on January 6th. Go home. We don't need this. Stay peaceful. No, I wasn't quoting, but
right.
that's a screenshot.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. I mean, those were his tweets on January 6th. So
they're never going to find any connection because there isn't.
there isn't.
There isn't. And it shows just enough. Like you can see it just enough. And if anybody is smarter than me, it doesn't take a lot. Let me point that out. It doesn't take a lot. If anybody's smarter than me, they can see the people that breached the Capitol were headed in that direction while Donald Trump was still talking. So how the fuck can you say that he had any connection to those few?
Right.
Those peacekeepers or oath keepers or whatever they were, they had a fucking plan. Those motherfuckers need to be in prison.
But why will the
Period.
FBI not answer? I mean, look, the answer none would be an answer. But why will they not answer? How many agents did you have embedded in these oath keeper groups?
Because they haven't asked the right questions by the majority.
According to one of the Proud Boys. According to one of the Proud Boys, they now know that out of their 24-man group, 8 were FBI agents as of January 6th.
Governor of Michigan attempted abduction.
That's
there was like 3 or 4 of those were FBI agents.
That was
like
entrapment.
That's entrapment.
That's both of those.
They did get one guy to plead guilty, and I think he's going to do like 3 years in prison or something. But one guy, remember the news came on. It was 6 people that were plotting to kidnap the governor. That says to me that's 5 FBI agents and one poor soul that just got sucked into it.
How did he didn't do shit?
Apparently,
they probably hired him to drive the van.
Yeah, the FBI was like, "Hey, you
want to
kill the governor?"
This is the shit that needs to be. Like you asked me what I hope to see.
Yeah, I want
from
to
the
see
House
FBI investigations.
I want to see investigations akimbo. I want to see him go fucking mad. Just what do you guys want to investigate this week? Hop on that.
But I want someone to come in, and I don't care if he's right or left leaning. I don't really fucking care. That doesn't really affect me. I want someone to come into the FBI in Christopher Wray's position and be like, let's look into it. If you've ever participated in an investigation that had some shady outcomes or something, dude, you're fucking fired.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. You know what?
It's
been time. It's been time. Their life is no longer in danger. Can we just get a picture of the whistleblower from the first, just for fun?
Yeah.
Just for fun. Can we get an interview with him? It's plenty of time has passed.
I mean, I'm just saying, like,
can CNN talk to him? Barbara Walters, somebody? This is the guy that whistle blew the Trump phone call. Somebody? Like, can we just a glance?
Anything. Anything. Because the fact that there's
a Twitter account that he can block us all from, like, I mean, hey, but let me tell you, the words "we're going to impeach Biden" have came up. Won't happen not without the Congress, especially with Kamala Harris as the deciding.
Now, the way it can happen is if Herschel Walker wins. If Herschel Walker wins a runoff, then it'll be a 50-50 Senate.
I want to see
Kamala Harris as the tying break. But here's the thing. Kristen Sinema, Joe Manchin, there's a whole bunch of Democrats that aren't really Democrats. They're kind of rhinos. Or what's the D word for rhino? Dino?
Joe Manchin is as Democrat as he can get away with.
You think for 1 second, Joe Biden's going to vote to impeach this man? I do, because everybody in this fucking state wants it. If he stands a chance for re-election, he'll definitely vote. He's already shown that he'll vote with Republicans.
Oh, yeah.
As long as it makes sense.
He knows when to get off the bus.
And the fact that Joe Manchin just kind of got stooped by the whole pipeline thing, we were supposed to get a pipeline. That was part of his deal. This Inflation Reduction Act. It's the reason why he signed it. It's the reason why Joe Biden gave him the first pen. Joe Manchin got duped. You're not getting no fucking pipeline.
Fucking of what?
This left-leaning Congress.
Pipeline of what?
some pipeline going.
I
From,
know, but no, I mean, I'm just saying, look at Joe Biden's energy policy.
right.
A pipeline of what?
It'll be empty. Pipeline of air.
Oil? Natural gas?
Ain't
What?
gonna be none of that. That's my thing. I think Joe Manchin would vote to impeach. So
I said that on Joe Manchin's Facebook page. He said we've been promised a pipeline. I said, a pipeline of what, Joe? That was exactly my fucking comment. A pipeline of what, Joe? Have you seen Biden's energy policies? You know, I'm stupid, but I think real good. I don't talk well, but I think really deep. Like, you know, when you said, as soon as he said that, I was like, of what? We just shut down 7 pipelines. Announced we're not pumping any extra natural gas. He wants to down the amount of coal we're producing in our state. A pipeline of what? You got us a pipeline of something, all right.
yeah. Pipeline to the Mexican cartel.
Man, we got pipelines.
But you know, it's still, like I said, they said the average presidential candidate announces his candidacy 527 days before election, which is less than 2 years. Donald Trump announced 720 days.
If Donald Trump,
200 days ahead of the average candidate.
and you know, well, one thing, even if you hate the man, love the man, you have to say one thing he's good at is looking at the loopholes and getting around shit. That's why they hate him for his tax returns.
Yeah.
Because he didn't do anything but use the laws they put in place.
Exactly.
Which is exactly
the reason why Congress has had, the Democrats have had the White House and both houses of Congress for the last 2 years, and you've not seen any investigations into taxes.
If he
Democrats are just as
canvasses,
guilty of it.
if he canvasses these areas, he can come out ahead in the election. If he starts now doing what the Democrats start doing 6 weeks before the election, start making sure the deep inner, what's a friendly word? There's no friendly word for it. The deep boroughs
The inner city.
get the message of hey man, you know, I'm gonna improve I can't give you, but I can improve your neighborhood, you know, through this way, and I can give you this opportunity. And if he starts working those areas, I mean JFK the fuck out of it, he can win. But that's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take. The only way
That's part of the reason why he won last time.
His key to winning is to make it so that when they show up to these people's houses and they're like, hey, I got your mail-in vote here. Would you like to fill it out? Would you like to vote? It's very important. Democrat Party needs your vote. That they go, I'll fill that out for you. I'll fill that out for you, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Republicans. You know what I mean? Like,
oh no.
Like,
when you take that fucking ballot and you tear that bitch up, I'll be voting in person.
Yep.
Because there's only a couple reasons why you should be mail-in voting. One is you're old as fuck and can't get out the house. And 2 is you're a military man deployed somewhere. That's your 2 major reasons. There might be a few extras. Maybe a cancer patient. Somebody that just can't get out. Those are perfectly good reasons to have a mail-in ballot.
Let me throw an idea out.
But you better be writing me a slip saying I need a mail-in ballot.
Let me throw an idea out. What isn't there on election day?
What isn't there
on election day?
Election commercials.
School. There's no school on election day.
Most polling places are in schools.
Yeah. So that means that if people can't get to polling places, and commonly polling places are in or near closed schools, why can't the buses do a run or two throughout the day to take people to the polls
Well,
because that way, I know it sucks. I know you don't want to pay the bus drivers, but that way, it's the state giving opportunity for people to vote, not Democrats driving a van around making sure people go pay, or vice versa. You know what I mean?
that's the problem right there.
You got to stop the partisanship any way you can in the election.
Yep.
That would do that. And like I said, everybody should have a walkie. Everybody should have, and the minute you see something stupid fishy in an election count, you should be able to stop at election count. 2 or 3 investigators that are probably drinking coffee asleep in the back room should come out and be like, why'd you hit the button? Well, Nancy over here went out to her car and came back in, and I don't know where that bag of votes over there came from. I'd appreciate it. You know what? If it's,
Right. But
shit like that.
The problem with that scenario specifically, I kind of like my scenario that I think I brought it up last week when we talked about it. The votes are counted. Whoever's the fucking winner is announced the winner. Period. The end. Then over the course of the next couple weeks, all of those ballots are checked. Everything's taken care of. If you have objections to the way things were counted, this is when you bring up that issue. The people need their results that fucking day.
I agree with that.
And there's absolutely no reason, because we knew who the fuck the president was when we used to hand count these motherfuckers in the 80s. Don't fucking tell me you can't do it with a machine now.
You know what? Fuck it. Do it. Do it. You know what? I'll say there's 8 million. The Earth hit. I don't know if you knew this or not. The Earth actually hit 8 billion people the other day.
Yeah, I saw that.
The Earth hit 8 billion people the other day. So for all argument's sake, for all of everybody in the world, they'll be like, "Oh, you're not letting people." Okay, we'll give you till noon the next day. But at noon the next day, I want my TV to shut down like Reagan's talking on in 1980s. And I want my fucking election results.
Absolutely.
All of them. You can have noon the next day.
You're being very lenient.
Yeah.
You're being very lenient.
Noon the next day. But nobody goes home.
I'm saying
Until
the
none of
polls
y'all
are open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Nobody leaves. Nobody comes in until the count is over.
Yep.
Nobody goes out to their car to get their lunchbox. Nobody, once you're in there as a worker, you're sealed until the counts are counted.
But here's the thing, though, Justin. Here's something you could do to where you don't have to put those kind of restrictions on people. Because being a poll worker is not as easy as you think it is.
No, I know, but
it's a 12 or 13 hour day, no breaks.
Oh yeah,
it's a long fucking day, dude. Like, I thought about doing it next election just because they pay like $300 for the day. I'll go stand in the school and take people that are ballot.
I know that.
Yeah, they pay good. Well, they pay very well. Sometimes they have lunches brought in because you can't leave. When you're an election worker, you're there. There's no breaks. There's no smoke breaks. You're not hardly ever going to see it. My idea in that sense is a poll is open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., sometimes 7 p.m. Every 4 hours during that day. That's a 12-hour day. I mean, three a day. You have somebody from your assessor's office coming around, and whether it's an armored van or someone's protecting it, whatever they pick up those ballots every 4 hours from this polling location. That means those poll workers have officially done 30% of their job, 33% of their job. When that last van leaves your polling location with that last batch of votes at 7 o'clock at night, your job is done. You've made sure that your county picked up those votes. And once you have 0 ballots in your polling location, your day is over. There's no reason they can't, because then when the polls close at 7 p.m., you have 4 hours until 11 p.m. to count those last batch of votes, because you've been counting these votes all day long that you've been picking up. You already have 20% in, 30% in, 70% in. That's the number you see at the top of the screen on most of these election polls.
I was talking to my
there
buddy.
are better ways to do it than what they're doing now.
Well, my buddy said, my buddy lives in Chicago, said, well, you know, Arizona's very rural. I said, motherfucker.
Don't talk to me about rural. Shit. Arizona's very rural because it's mostly desert. 90% of the population live in fucking Phoenix.
Right.
That makes it even easier because they're all right fucking here.
Right. Right.
You
know,
lost all your argument.
Where
right
all
there.
the machinery keeps breaking.
Hey, like I said, Justin,
they're recounting. She's calling for a recount.
You may agree or you may disagree, Justin, but I don't give a fuck. If you can't tell me that somebody in the 80s can count these votes by, but in 2022, with all this technology, we take weeks.
The Democrats don't know how many votes they have. They don't know how many they need.
Yeah, exactly. They don't know how many dead people they left on their poll from last year.
You know what?
A dead person got elected.
Yeah, we can never talk about dead people voting again. There was a second one. There was a second one somewhere.
Not only did he get elected, bro, he got like 90% of the vote. It was like a blowout for the And you know, did you hear? Did you hear? It's your favorite. It's your favorite.
What?
Did you hear?
No, what?
The reason this guy got elected?
No.
I'll tell you. Because he died last year and they forgot to take him off the ballot, bro. These are the people we elect. Not we generally, because it happened in Pennsylvania, but they forgot to take the dead guy off the fucking ballot, Justin. Like, how many people did see this ballot before it got sent to the people?
What the fuck?
Yeah. You got no proofreading process, motherfucker. Nobody saw this dude's name on the ballot.
We're all gonna die because they're all fucking stupid.
We're all dead.
Fuck!
We're all dead already. We're just falling through space and have no fucking clue what's up.
Fuck.
On the bright side, the fucking NASA did fucking deter an asteroid. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
At least that's kind of good.
Okay,
news.
so conspiracy theory. There's a time traveler.
My head is white in the fucking camera.
If it happens, it happens. If it don't happen, conspiracy theory. But crazy time traveler guy that's been all over TikTok for a long time. On the way, apparently he's full on Sam Beckett. He hasn't went back yet.
Yeah, of course not. He likes it here.
Yeah. If I could pick
I do
anywhere
too.
time, I'd pick.
I'm a time traveler.
There's
too.
no way
It's
I'd
my
go.
favorite time.
There's no way I'd go back to the 1920s and ride around with Tom Gillinger.
There's absolutely no way I'm not going to find out who fucking killed JFK.
Right, or stop him. Imagine if you fuck that one up.
Do you? You don't even know the repercussions. If anything they say is true,
right,
about the way things change, if you change anything in the back, dude, we might be a fucking communist country.
But they talk like you can't fix anything.
I love JFK.
I mean,
you listen to all the
worst case scenario, you were never born.
You listen to all the history reports, and JFK was a good guy. He's a great president. He was a man of the people. But this dude was a Democrat.
That's why he had to go.
Yeah, he was a Democrat.
He was in the but if you listen, also he was in the way of the progressive. He was in the way of the progressive movement back then.
Yeah, he was also in the way of the fucking, or is that Nixon? It was either him or Nixon, JFK or Nixon, that was trying to fight against the Federal Reserve.
Yeah,
going off the currency.
Him and Reagan.
I mean,
you know what they have in common?
Reagan survived his assassination.
Well, they both got shot.
Yeah.
Reagan not only survived his assassination, he got back up and finished his fucking speech. Gangster Gava Nostra. Again, though, the picture of him was Vladimir Putin standing right there.
6 months later at the inauguration or something, and he was giving a speech, and the balloon popped, and he was like, "Miss me."
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan had sense of humor, bro. It wasn't that long. It was like a few months after he got.
Trump did it too. The balloon popped, and he just kept fucking talking.
Right. He was scared. Fuck it.
You know how I know you didn't shoot at me? I wouldn't have heard that.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Yeah. You won't hear what kills you.
No, definitely not. You're just gonna be like, "Ow, shit."
Well, man, we've been at this an hour 44.
Yeah, it was a good podcast, man.
Yeah,
Good
man.
good little shit fest.
If anybody comes on, checks it out, leave us a comment. Get
Yeah.
on here and get fucking involved. Talk with us.
Comment, like, subscribe. Don't like. Give us something. To
Tell
go
us to
off
go
of.
fuck ourselves.
Yeah, something. Well, I could talk about someone telling me to go fuck myself for at least 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
shit.
I can give you real good directions.
Yes. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. The book of how to go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I give you fucking
Detailed, step-by-step instructions on how to literally go fuck yourself.
and fabulous places to do
Absolutely.
it.
Yes. Remember the coffee table book?
Yeah, we
had this
still
whole
need to
plan.
do that. We should do that. I got the camera now and everything.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, it's been a good day.
Yep. Till next week, guys.
See y'all next week. Deuces.